everybody, and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have a video for you of nonfiction books that I'd like to read in the year 2020. I dabbled a little bit in nonfiction last year and I decided that I wanted to continue into 2020. So I have a stack of 7 books that I physically own already, and I have 2 books that are on my wish list that I want to get to this year. And these are all books that are obviously backlisted books because they have already come out. So I'm going to talk about the 2 books that are on my wish list first. I'm just looking now because I want to make sure I get their titles right, so I'm checking my Amazon wish list. So the first book that I would like to get to is Inheritance, a memoir of genealogy, paternity, and love by Dani Shapiro, and I'm going to put a picture here. This book I've seen everywhere. I saw it on the top lists of Goodreads this year. Ellen Hildebrand put it on a list of her favorites, so it just sounds really intriguing and I really want to give it a shot. I made my family do Ancestry, and Patrick's family, some members of his family have done Ancestry, so I feel like it's something that I'm really intrigued by and I want to learn more about, so I'm excited to see what that one entails. And then the other one that I have currently on my wish list is Know My Name, which is a memoir by Chanel Miller. I find that memoirs are the easiest thing for me to read because they read like fiction, so I'm hoping that it'll be good. This one has been in like everyone's top books this year. I've seen it all over Instagram. It was a top contender in Goodreads, so it's one that I really want to get to. I've heard it tackle some very serious issues, so I'm really interested in picking that one up in the year 2020. Now, the rest of the books are books that I currently own, so hopefully I can knock them out this year. The first one is I Wish My Teacher Knew by Kyle Schwartz. It says how one question can change everything for our kids. If you didn't know, I teach 3rd grade. This year I'm on maternity leave for a whole year, which is awesome, but come August, I'm going back. So I want to give this one a read. My principal at the time, he has now since gone to another district, but at a faculty meeting, if you like won this like warm-up icebreaker game at one of our faculty meetings, you got to pick a book of your choice, and I got to pick 2, which was pretty awesome, because I was like, I can't decide between these 2, and he's like, I'm going to give you both. So I ended up getting this one, and I believe this is just kind of when you ask your students, like, give them a piece of paper, and it's like, if you can tell me one thing that you wish I knew about you, like, let me know. And granted, at this, like, if you look at the age levels on here, like, sometimes it's, like, very simple of, like, I wish my teacher knew that I want to learn about history, so that way, like, you can kind of tune to those needs. But there's also the times where, like, I wish that, like, they knew that, like, my parents fight at night, or, like, sometimes, like, things like that can come out of it. And I know my 3rd graders might not necessarily, like, come out with serious things, but, like, I feel like this will be really intriguing to finally read. I've had this for a little bit longer than I would have liked, but I'm hoping that this is my year to read this, and hopefully I could bring something back with me when I go back to work in August. So, yeah. Then I would also like to read The Bling Ring by Nancy Jo Sales. I thought I was going to get to this in 2019. I kept, like, picking it up, and then I kept being like, oh, there's other things I want to read, so I never got to it. Because I also just really want to watch this movie because it looks insane. And it's about these kids who just started, like, breaking into, like, Lindsay Lohan's house and, like, Paris Hilton's house, and when they got caught, and it just sounds dramatic, and I want to read it. Then I would like to read Wild Game, My Mother, Her Lover, and Me by Adrienne Baudier. I kept seeing this one everywhere as well. I almost want to say I saw Ellen Hildebrand reading it too, but I could totally be wrong. But I've also been seeing it everywhere, and it just sounds really intriguing as well. It's about this girl. She's 14 when her mom kind of confides in her about some man she kissed, and kind of makes her daughter almost become like her wing woman and like help her out to have affairs from her father, which is like weird. And then it's this one, like, I just like love this part that says, like, Wild Game is a brilliant, timeless memoir about how the people close to us can break our hearts simply because they have access to them, and the lies we tell in order to justify the choices we make. It's a remarkable story of resilience, a reminder that we need not be the parents our parents were to us. And it just, like, it's insane. So I, like, cannot wait to get to this one. I'm noticing I'm saying the word like a lot. I'm sorry. Then I would also like to get to The Great Pretender by Susanna I can never say this person's name. I always want to say it's Callahan, and I know it's not. I guess it's Callan? I don't know. She wrote the book Brain on Fire, which is an event that took place with her own brain when it kind of rebelled against her, and I really, really enjoyed that book. And she's a news reporter in general, and this one is about in 1973 when a doctor convinced a whole bunch of healthy people to basically put themselves into mental institutions and kind of convince people that they were crazy, and the only way they could get out is when they, like, kind of convince people that they are not crazy. So it sounds insane. So I definitely want to read this one as well. I was a psychology major, so this definitely, like, plays to what I love to learn about, so I'm excited to read this. This one is creepy, and this one is American Predator by Maureen Callahan. This person's last name actually is Callahan. It says the hunt for the most meticulous serial killer of the 21st century, and that is my other thing. I love knowing what makes brains tick. I love anything to do with teaching, and I love learning about people who like to murder people. I don't... I'm with, like, everybody else. Like, it's funny, though, because I've, like, never watched the Netflix series, what was the one that was, like, crazy going around? I don't remember, but, like, I've never gotten into that, but, like, I've always loved, like, watching the Lifetime Movie Network movies about, like, the Blue-Eyed Killer and the Craigslist Killer and, like, even just, like, the ones that, I'm trying to think, like, the Natalie Holloway case, there's another one that I'm blanking on. I could, like, picture it if she was pregnant when her husband murdered her. I'm blanking on it, but I love those types of things. So I've heard this one is super creepy, and I am here for it. I cannot wait. And then, because I am the last person on earth to read this, but actually somebody said the last time I held this that I'm not the last person on earth, so I feel a little bit better. But that is Educated by Tara Westover. Like I said, I'm a teacher, so everybody has said, like, if you're a teacher, you need to read this. So I'm excited. This is about a woman who I believe, like, her parents, like, kind of just, like, don't like institutions of any kind, so they don't bring her to school, they don't bring her to doctors, and I guess her life is just awful. So I'm really intrigued to read this one, so that way I can finally know what all the buzz is about. So 2020, this is the year for it. And then the last one is My Friend Anna by Rachel Deloche Williams. I've talked about this, I feel like, a lot lately. This is about a woman who befriends a woman named Anna, and she kind of convinces her, like, Anna convinces her that she's, like, this heiress and has a whole ton of money, and I think they plan this, like, exorbitant vacation, and then Anna doesn't have any money at all. So I've heard not the best reviews for this book, but I'm still really intrigued to hear all this drama that has to go on with this, but I'm excited. So hopefully we will be reading all of this nonfiction, and then I could check in with you at the end of the year of what I thought about all of them. But these are the books that I plan on getting to. Let me know if you're a big nonfiction reader. What are some of your recommendations? Like I said, I typically tend to gear towards memoirs because they read more like fiction, and I get more out of them that way. But let me know down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, everybody.